Oh, honey, just when Meghan Markle thought she was about to be crowned the queen of vulnerability after her soul-spilling heart-to-heart with Jamie Kern-Lima, boom! South Park swoops in and drops a cartoon nuke right on her big healing moment. I mean, imagine this. You pour your heart out, sprinkle in some buzzwords, dab on a little gloss, and think you've just delivered the TED Talk of the decade, and then a 20-minute animated roast turns it all into a punchline.
And look, South Park is known for satire and for mocking people. No one is safe. This isn't the first time they've done an episode on the royal family, but this particular episode was quite scathing in the grains of truth that it held. And I'm not sure how the Sussexes are taking it. Obviously, it is a cartoon.
But you're the same.
You're the same.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow. I know. Yeah. You just have to prove, like, you have the proof that you're proving that you can prove the proof.
It's divine intervention that God brought you to this podcast today.
Want some pretzels? I put them in a bag myself.
These pretzels are divinely ordered.
The pretzels of Sussex.
You just can't leave it alone, can you? Oh my God, he's so obsessed with us.
Successful lifestyle brand as ever. We sold out of everything in 45 minutes.
Amazing. You've been working so hard.
Oh my gosh, I work so hard. I work very hard and I'm still working very hard. Just not for the royal family. Yet, I still insist on being called Her Royal Highness.
For Meghan Markle, they've just learned the hardest of lessons, which is, if you start a brawl, do not be surprised if you end up getting punched twice as hard. In fact, South Park has just knocked them out.
There isn't a tear in sight. It's an actor's trick.
Just when...
Girl, this episode was pure chaos wrapped in satire. They stuffed those homemade spiritual pretzels right back into her glowing spotlight and turned her authentic moments into a comedy masterclass. Every over-rehearsed pause, giant red target. Every key word, glitter bombed into oblivion, and let me tell you, people couldn't stop watching it. Like over and over and over again. Who knew a cartoon could shred a podcast harder than Twitter on a bad PR day? But baby, that was just the appetizer.
You've had it harder than literally any other person on the planet. Even Jesus, nailed up to the cross, didn't suffer as much as you.
I know.
Just love that this is what the Lord willed me to do with my will. To make another podcast where celebrities can talk about how hard their lives are, not to help people. No.
That 2-hour podcast that I just had to sit through with Jamie Kern-Lima, who is also very cut off from the rest of the world.
This woman looks to me like a malignant narcissist. This woman has zero self-awareness.
I love that your eyes are sparkling right now. You know, Meghan, how are you today? Which, by the way, I just have to say, yes.
Enjoy them.
I forgot to have fun. You're right. You're right.
It gets, ooh, buckle up, because it got messier. South Park went in, like all the way in. They didn't just roast Meghan's cosmic pretzel show. No. They grabbed her entire Buzzword buffet and turned it into an all-you-can-eat cringe fest. Growth, power, yet they dropped those words like confetti at a motivational cult rally. Picture this, animated Meghan and Jamie tossing out feel-good phrases like they're in a Blender commercial while the background characters nod so hard, you're afraid their heads might actually fall off. By halfway through, every other sentence ended in yet. It was like watching an Instagram life coach trapped on repeat. South Park didn't create the cringe, they just turned the volume up. But oh honey, we're not done.
Are you okay? Oh, that's so kind. I am. I'm better than okay. What's my line? How are you? I know, you always make it about me. I do. So now let's discuss. Wait. You're supposed to talk about how amazing I am at being a friend to you?
If it's truly what we want, then we really can get away from it all. No more magazines and Netflix shows. We really can live a normal life. Yes, I'm sure you agree, darling. We can be the people we talked about being, with no more worries about how we look or the image we project to people. What matters is what we have on.
What do Americans really think of Harry and Meghan? We despise them.
So why did you say yes to doing this show?
Because it's you. And to me, that means...
And then it all just crumbled. South Park went straight for the jugular. Meghan's humble brags turned into punchlines so sharp they practically left skid marks on the screen. From the dramatic "I work very hard" whisper to the misty-eyed "motherhood is my superpower" moment, they turned it all into a laugh track. And that bit about her writing emails to her kids every night, 40,000 emails. Girl, what? Cartoon Archie literally begged for a spam filter, and Harry was out here unsubscribing like he was purging a mailing list. The satire was brutal because the real interview already felt overproduced. All South Park did was add a laugh track, but wait for it, because what came next? Explosive.
Do you think you'll be married forever?
Yes.
I have a letter.
He's also a fox. If you haven't noticed, my husband's very, very handsome. But his heart is even more beautiful.
Something's up here. See that little shoulder shrug when she said yes?
Yes, yes,
Did you hear how high her voice was when she said yes?
yes.
When we're stressed, our larynx closes up a little bit and our voice tone gets a little bit higher. That's why the pitch of the S is so high.
What we're doing here is as, if not more, important than solving world hunger.
Wow.
I practiced really hard to come off as genuine.
So did I.
I think it's working.
I do too.
Oh my God, it gets worse. Megan's big I'm just like you moment, you know the one, where she bravely went makeup free under a lighting setup that probably cost more than our rent. South Park turned that into the funniest irony fest of the year. They gave cartoon Meghan a glow filter halo so bright it practically needed shades, while characters gasped like they just saw the Mona Lisa. In those cozy sweaters, the raw eye contact, every time the camera stopped, someone whipped out a powder puff. I can't. The message was clear. Authenticity can't be scheduled between your brand meetings, sweetie. And just when you thought that was the peak, think again.
When you were saying, like, do you want to just do like cozies and no makeup? I like the idea of like, okay, great, let's let them see us.
Nobody talks like that and nobody acts like that because that's weird behavior that we're seeing from both of these people if we're supposed to be thinking under the impression that they're being authentic.
Oh yes, there's more. South Park didn't just skewer her words, they torched her whole wardrobe. Cartoon Meghan's fashion activism, a total circus. One minute she's rocking a plastic-free cape sewn by moonlight. The next, people are squinting like, is this saving the oceans or just flexing for Vogue? It lined up way too well with those whispers going around. Paramount, A24, quietly backing away. Fashion might make a statement, but this time it whispered desperate. Every outfit change got louder, while the actual causes faded into the background. Both the memes exploded. Fashion blogs took receipts, and the rest of us just sat back and sipped tea. But darlings, the crown jewel of irony was still coming.
There's this horrible spy who lives across the street from us, and we're gonna get him back by changing our brand.
Is this you? Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim.
I don't care. Don't care.
What the hell?
What did you say? He victimized me. It's because I'm an ethnic woman.
He can't do that. I'll say, wait, you're ethnic? This is an outrage.
Yeah, that's totally me.
Welcome to the Jamie Kern Lima Show.
Her show is unlike any I've ever done.
A revelation. When you listen, it feels like a hug, but your brain and your spirit and your heart is like, wow.
When I look into Jamie's eyes, I feel like I am on some other cosmic level with her.
I could see the light around her. She's infused with light.
Oh, my royal god. Here comes the bombshell. South Park saved their sharpest dagger from Meghan's secret little fling with the royal title she supposedly ditched. And honey, they went in. Cartoon Meghan had Her Royal Highness slapped on everything. Yoga mats, pretzel bags, even bathrobes. While Harry's in the corner like, girl, the palace changed the locks. Meghan's out here running a Hugs from HRH pop-up shop. They took real-life rumors, her still signing stuff with HRH, and blew them into a full-blown joke parade. The tiara's on a shelf labeled manifesting, and viewers were screaming. The message? You can't preach reinvention while clinging to your tiara like it's a security blanket. But the final twist? It was 3 letters and they shook the internet.
Zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. That is a title that was stripped from her when she and Harry made their whole racism debacle and left the UK, left their royal duties, and moved to the US to bug all of us. She's using it in private with her friends. That's even weirder than if they were still trying to milk the titles in public. That is just like all the confirmation that I need that this woman is just obsessed with being a royal, that is all this was all about. That she's angry that she screwed the pooch by claiming racism and basically getting kicked out of the family. She just can't give up the HRH titles that quickly. Like, this is literally what she has always wanted.
Yes, yet. South Park took Meghan's go-to word, her spiritual crutch, and turned it into the world's most annoying meme. Not healed yet, not famous enough yet, not overexposed yet. And suddenly, cartoon Meghan was slapping yet on shopping lists, size labels, probably even her dog's food bowl. The townsfolk literally ran for cover. TikTok went feral. People were counting every yet like it was a drinking game. It showed how quickly a word meant to empower can turn into cringe if you beat it to death. And oh, the episode still wasn't done twisting that knife. So just when we thought South Park had maxed out on the cringe meter, nope, they were just getting started. Because next they dragged us into what I can only describe as the podcast purgatory zone.
But before I go to bed almost every night, I email them.
Wow.
They will end up at one point in their life, maybe when they're 16 or when they're 18, that I say, here's an email that I've been keeping for you.
Because that's really what you want when you're 18. 40,000 emails, Maureen, from your mother.
These emails are so that when my children are of age, they can come to me and say, oh my God, you loved us so much. It's me.
It's divinely ordered how many times we've said I and me. Why did you say yes to this show?
And then you're like, do it. I was like, what? You're like, do it. I was like, what? You're like, do it. And then I was scared.
But wait, picture this. Meghan's podcast turned into a slow motion soap opera. Every pause stretched like chewing gum stuck to the sidewalk. Cartoon Jaime leans in all misty-eyed, and you could practically do a load of laundry before the next word drops. The silences, so long you started questioning your own existence. And when the words finally came out, oh honey, it was just soft, syrupy, over-enunciated platitudes. It was like watching someone try to sound deep by whispering cliches slowly. And let's not even talk about the dramatic nodding. The animation nailed it. A literal metronome stalled on screen. Coffee steamed, birds migrated, and those wide, earnest gazes just lingered. It was a less powerful interview and more guided nap time. Fans admitted they bailed halfway through the real interview, but South Park captured that energy perfectly in a single scene. Will this ever end? Was the mood. And just when we thought they dropped the mic, they detonated it.
There isn't a tear in sight. It's an actor's trick.
You'll make yourself cry. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Yes, took them out of the box, put them in some other packets, which seems to be Meghan's idea of cooking.
Here's the boom. Just like that, this wasn't just a cartoon roast anymore. It turned into a cultural earthquake. This episode, it didn't stay on Comedy Central. It shot across TikTok, Twitter, group chats, boardrooms. Cartoon Meghan's HRH gags were slapped on Starbucks cups, baby onesies. You name it, Hollywood panicked. Insiders whispered that Paramount shelved a docuseries. A 24 edited out a royal cameo. And let's be real, that's major. Satirical shrapnel hitting real-world deals? Now that's a power move. Suddenly, everyone was asking the same question. Can a duchess who just got roasted by fourth graders still sell authenticity? It felt like the brand that once sold royal fairy tales was now slipping on banana peels of its own making. And with every meme, the yet sounded less like inspiration and more like desperation. But the final blow? Oh girl, it was iconic.
Now, there is no doubt about it that Meghan Markle's viral video created a new negative wave of backlash against her that resulted in many other studios actually deciding to put any kind of affiliation with her either to a halt or firing her directly. That's exactly what happened with both Paramount and A24.
There was the grand finale. South Park's 20-minute roast did more than entertain. It delivered a brutally honest message wrapped in glitter and giggles. Authenticity only works when it isn't polished, packaged, and pitched like a designer handbag. They stitched together every overused buzzword, every awkward royal flex, every soft-spoken quote pulled from the book of branding, and turned it into a neon sign that screamed, "We see you." Industry execs are backpedaling, superfans are spiraling, and the rest of us, we've got memes for days, a popcorn refill, and the creeping suspicion that maybe, just maybe, this is what happens when heartfelt becomes hard sell. So, if you're still recovering from this glorious train wreck, smash that like, jab, subscribe, and slap that discreet little bell. No royal decree needed. And tell us, did South Park just say what we were all secretly thinking? Or did the satire go harder than Meghan deserved? Drop your tea in the comments. We're just getting started, and honey, the kettle is hot.